Hey y'all, what's up? This is Akira. I'm back, and this is going to be another episode on my thoughts. And this time, it's going to be one of my favorite artists, who I mentioned in the first video, named Brandy. So let's get right on to it. Brandy, we already know who Brandy is. We already know Brandy Rihanna Norwood, aka the Vocal Bible. AKA, the R&B artist that really and truly changed the game, and she's one of those recognized R&B artists that I know and I grew up and I loved ever since I was a little girl. Brandy, she is, like I said, she's a legend. She's an icon in her own right, and I've been thinking about Brandy for like the past couple of weeks. And to be honest with you, Brandy, it's like I see Brandy. We've all seen Brandy make transitions in her career. We've seen Brandy, and we grew up on Brandy when she first debuted her debut album, self-titled debut album. We already know the popular songs, "Baby," "Best Friend," "I Wanna Be Down." Yeah, I'm trying, but that's my favorite Brandy song. Of course, everybody's favorite song. I wanna be down. Yes, I have to put in a little throwback. So, for those who don't know Brandy, or you guys know Brandy, but y'all been sleeping on her, which I don't understand, because Brandy, like I said, she is really one of the talented, recognized R&B artists of her generation. And I'm a huge Brandy fan. I'm a huge Stars fan. Brandy, she calls her fans the Stars. And Brandy, we've all seen Brandy, have a successful career. We've all seen Brandy, at her highest moments. We've all seen Brandy in her lowest moments. We've seen Brandy happy. We've seen Brandy sad. We've seen Brandy, just transform into a remarkable human being. And as a woman, Brandy has been through things. She's been through, trials and tribulations. But she is a prime example of never giving up and still doing your thing. So let's jump straight to it. Alright, Brandy, these days, Brandy, she's doing her Broadway show, Chicago. So congratulations to you, girl, because I've seen you doing big things. Keep up the good work, girl. You doing it. And also, Brandy, she just released her single, Begging and Pleading. Now, oh my goodness, when I heard that Begging and Pleading, Brandy sang her behind. She sang her behind off this record. And we already know Brandy can sing, because she has the vocal chops. She has the vocal ability. She's everything. Like her harmonies, the way she sang, people. She don't just sing the record. She sings, okay? She sang. She even said herself she grew up when she was little. She was singing in church and in the choir. And I tell you, Brandy, hands down, if anybody is unsure of, if they want to listen to an artist, especially an R&B artist, Brandy needs to be at the top of their list. I would say, yo, you need to check out Brandy. You need to look at Brandy's music. You need to check out her albums, her catalogs, everything, because Brandy is really one of the I'm telling you, one of the best of her generation. I'm telling you. So let's get back to Begging and Pleading. When I heard Begging and Pleading, I know Begging and Pleading came out a couple months ago. I'm not for sure the exact date. I can't remember because I was doing everything else. But when Begging and Pleading first came out, I heard the record, and I'm just saying, Brandy, a vocal beast. Like, the way she was just singing down, it was like she was singing at church. Like, when you hear that church music, like we hear that gospel music, Brandy's voice, it fits perfectly in that area, because the way Brandy sings her harmonies, the way she sings her runs, she knows where to hit her notes. Like, she knows what to do. And it's like, to hear her voice is so refreshing, because for a while, Brandy, she put out her last album, 211, which I will talk about later in this video. And like I said, Brandy is she never left. It's like she never lost it. However, some people want to discredit the woman. I mean, for real. Some people do. And it's like, you know, Brandy is like, to be honest, Brandy is one of a kind. Like, there will never be another Brandy. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, there will never be another Brandy, period. Because Brandy is Brandy and she will always be Brandy. And it's like, people, they discredit Brandy because of, well, obviously, in this day and time, this day and age, in this generation, you know, if you like successfully, like I said, had your moment in time of success in the 90s or whatever period, today's age, when people don't know of you or if they haven't heard of you, you're considered a flop. Which excuse me, I'm trying not to curse on this video. Let me just pause. Okay. Which it's just so unnecessary, and it's so childish, and it's immature. And it's like, come on, these artists, like I said, I know times have changed, but just because, like I said, you didn't grow up with these artists or you wasn't exposed, why are they considered flops? And the artists that you're listening to today now, you better hope they last in the game for like over 20 years or more. Because like I said, I keep telling y'all, it's only a few. It's only a few artists that, like I said, changed the game. So Brandy is like, with her, I grew up with Brandy ever since I was little. The first time I heard Brandy was my cousin. She's a huge Brandy fan, and she still is a huge Brandy fan. I know she is for sure. But the actually first time I actually heard Brandy was when I was at her house and she was playing Brandy's music. And I was like, who is this? And she was like, Brandy. I was like, oh, she has a nice voice. She has a beautiful voice. And the first time I actually got to see what Brandy looked like, we all know Brandy, she came out with the braids. That was like her, that's her signature look. She had the braids and she was so adorable. Like, she was a teenager, but she just had like a lot of that, like, you know, playfulness to her. She was like, you know, when she first came out, of course, she was like 14, 15 when she first came out. So she debuted at a young age. So she debuted with her first album, which is the self-titled Brandy. And it did spawn, like I said, the most her known well hits. Like I said, Baby, Best Friend, I Want to Be Down. I mean, Brandy, like I said, when she first came out, she really capitalized her success. And she really, like I said, at the time, very successful. She was like one of the like successful artists at a young age. Nowadays, well, now today, I don't see that many like 14, 15-year-old artists. Well, as I said before, I said about my last video, I did say like about other artists that I mentioned that were, like I said, they started in the game young. But Brandy, she's a prime example of one of the young successful artists at the time when she was 14. Like, everybody loved her. Like, she was just out of this world. Like, Brandy pretty much, like, she really, it's like, she wasn't, like I said, she wasn't your bubblegum pop, you know, cookie cutter manufacturer artist. No, she, like I said, at times she was the real deal, and she still is the real deal, because to this day people know who Brandy is. People know her songs, people know her albums. I know she put out, let me get it right, so far she's put out, I know she put out Debut, Second, Full Moon, Aphrodisiac, Human, 211. Oh, so that would be what, 6 solo albums of her career? Yeah, she's put out 6 solo albums of her career. And it's really, like I said, it amazes me that, like, how some people, they discredit Brandy. They say, oh, well, she was just popular when she was in the 90s, early 2000s, and nobody listens to her anymore. Oh, she's talented, but she's not interesting anymore. Or like, well, she, you know, she had her time and came and left. And like I said, she just needs to stick to, like I said, nobody cares. Nobody's interested in her music. Which is like, okay, listen, you don't have to like Brandy, but seriously, I mean, if you haven't listened to her music, do some research. That's why I said, people, do research on artists that you don't know of, or that you may not have heard of. Do your research first before you call yourself trying to, like, act like you know what you know, but you're not doing your research, because that makes you look stupid. But anyway, yeah. So recently, Brandy, we already know about the begging and pleading record. We know about, like I said, you know, we know about her going on shows. She's doing Chicago. She's doing Broadway. And yeah, okay. Now for me, for Brandy to be, like I said, one of the successful artists of her time. I mean, okay, let's go back to like when she debuted when she was 14. And also, we already know about her Never Say Never album, which is one of the most innovative and creative R&B albums within her catalog. Because I'm going to tell you something. Brandy, she's one of those artists that wasn't afraid to take risks with her music. I mean, she did not like let nobody put her in a box. And that's why I love her so much, because she's one of those artists that, listen, you know, she's not worried about keeping up with the trend. She's not worried about what's out now. She's just worried about in her world, whatever goes on in her world, she's going to bring it and she's going to give it to you, Brandy style. So it's like Brandy, she has never been an artist like, oh, I gotta keep up with what's going on now. She never had like that persona. It was always this down to earth, bubbly, you know. She was always, it was something about her, like she was very intriguing. I mean, she still is, but when she debuted at 15, I know like a lot of her fans have grown up with her, so they've seen like I said, her ups and downs. Even me too, because I've seen her ups and downs. I'm 23, by the way, so I remember like growing up with Brandy during like the Full Moon era. Like I remember like when she put out Full Moon and she put out What About Us. That's my favorite Brandy song too, by the way. So it's like Brandy, like I said, she always experimented. Each album, it was like something different, something new. She also brought in a very, very more risque, dark, edgy, futuristic sound, because as Brandy was progressing, her music got better and better. Like Never Say Never didn't sound like her debut. Full Moon didn't sound like Never Say Never. Aphrodisiac didn't sound like Full Moon. Human didn't sound like Aphrodisiac. And 211 didn't sound like Human. So Brandy, like I said, she always hits the ballpark. She nails it. Like her music, like I said, those albums, that catalog of her records, it doesn't sound like anything that's out on the radio. It doesn't sound like another artist. It just sounds like Brandy. It's like she always gives you who Brandy is, and you can feel it. It's not phony. It's like when you listen to Brandy, this is who I am. This is me. You're going to get the raw. You're going to get the uncut Brandy. You're going to get the harmonies, the vocals. She's like in your face when she be singing, because she has that gift. And I really love Brandy. I think Brandy, she should get more. People should appreciate her. I'm telling you, because that's why it's really unfortunate, like for artists that change the game and pave the way, it's like people, they don't, like I said, give them their props where it's due. And then unfortunately, you know, when they gotta, unfortunately, they gotta say sayonara. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about when they say sayonara and they don't return. Yeah. So like I said, with the case with Brandy, it's like, I just think that Brandy, like I said, she'll be at the top of my list. She is at the top of my list, because I personally think that, like I said, Brandy, she needs to stop. She needs to not stop making music. She needs to keep making music, because excuse me, I'm sorry. It's a little allergies, but she needs to still, like I said, giving us quality, relatable music. And what I find very intriguing about Brandy, is like she uses her personal life experiences and she puts it into her albums. And she's not afraid to say, yes, I went through this. Yes, I experienced this. I went through a breakup. I went through depression, because she did talk about, like, during the time when she was low in her life, that she went through a heavy depression, and she was like, she didn't know what she was going to do, and everything was spiraling out of control around her. So she was going through a dark period. And I know recently she put out, I think it was this like BET Life, this docu-series about Brandy, and then her family, like her father and her mother and her brother were talking about how, they knew that she had that talent, that gift. And she really, like I said, she really brought her A game. And it's like Brandy, she also talked about how, she was like, going through her personal issues, and she talked about, her growing up as a woman and how she was going through different changes and transitions. So you got to really see Brandy as a human being, and she really expressed that. She's like, listen guys, I'm human, and that album Human that she released back in 2008, I love that album. I really do, because that album really like talked about her ups and downs. She talked about, oh, I'm human, and I'm not perfect. We're not all perfect, but we have the power to make a difference in our lives and change for the sake of bettering ourselves. So Brandy really, really channeled her inner self, which she saved me, because there are times where I've had depression and I've been angry and upset, and I've been going through some craziness, but her music, I know her music helped save me, because like I said, that Human album is one of those records that Brandy, she just, like I said, she always tries something new and different. She always experiments with her sounds. So it's like when you hear that Human album, it's like, yo, this woman really went things. And I'm not gonna bring up because everybody know what she was going through and all the crazy. I'm not gonna be focusing on that, because that has passed and we're in the now. So we're gonna be focusing what's Brandy gonna do in the future. But anyway, yeah. So okay, Brandy's music. I'm gonna get right to it. Brandy's catalog is none. It's like her music. I mean, it's not. It's just so like far out. It's like her music is like I said, it's different and unique. But her music to me always brought out that futuristic element. Like for example, like I know when during the second era when she did Never Say Never, that album, it was marketed into more of the mainstream. Like I said, the audience. Even her debut album, it was like I said, it was marketed mainstream. But I know like she was like just experimenting with different sounds. Like she had like a little bit of pop, she had a little bit of like rock. So she still maintained her R&B core, fan base. But she evolved and she expanded. That's why that Never Say Never album is one of the most memorable Brandy albums, because a lot of Brandy fans from that era, they remember. Like me, I really don't remember, because I was born in 92, but I wasn't exposed to Brandy's music until later on. But like I said, like I saw like a lot like, but it's like people during that time, it's like people saw Brandy, she was growing up, she was transitioning. And the Never Say Never album, that album really, she really like slayed. Like that era, it just levitated her. Like she was soaring. Like she soared. Like she just was like soaring. Like she was everywhere. It was like she was dropping hit after hit. I mean, and her management and the marketing, like they knew what they was doing. I mean, they really did a tremendous job, and she was on like tour and stuff like that. And of course, we all know one of her records that are like memorable to this day is "The Boy Is Mine." Everybody know about that record. I love that record. I love the video. I love like the concept of "The Boy Is Mine," featuring Monica. Now, surrounding "The Boy Is Mine," it was like Brandy and Monica. They're fighting over this boy. The boy, like, he likes Brandy, he likes Monica. And at the same time, he's like playing them at the same time. But they probably don't even know. Well, actually, they don't know that. Or maybe they do. But they don't care. They're like, listen, he's mine. You're not going to get him. He said he loves me. He said he would never leave me. So people, they can relate to that. Like, of course, girls fighting over guys. But that record is just the duet. It's like that record is one of the most timeless records. Like, especially timeless duets, because that record really, like, it gave Brandy success, a huge amount of success. It's the same thing, and the same thing with Monica. And, I mean, they really jailed. They really, their vocals, I mean, their harmonies. I mean, the chemistry between Brandy and Monica on that record, like, you hear Brandy's vocals and then you hear Monica's vocals. So they're going at it. It's like, yo, they're going at it head to head, So it's almost like, wow. And then it was like, of course, there was like, allegedly, they did have like a allegedly, I'm just saying allegedly, there were reports saying that they did have beef, like they were actually fighting and stuff, and they hated each other. So surrounding that controversy did make the record more like, it gave the record more attention. So surrounding that, like allegedly, like they had beef and they had like, they didn't like each other. But but to be honest, they even said years later, well, a couple years ago, like they didn't ever hate each other and stuff. But it is what it is, guys. I mean, some people, they'll take it for what it is, and they'll be like, well, they hate each other for real. But I didn't really think so. And at the time, I didn't care. I just loved the record for what it was. So that was that. And Brandy, she put out Have You Ever. She put out Top of the World. She put out like a lot of, I'm trying to think. I know Brandy's records because I'm a huge Brandy fan. But she just put out, like I said, like that album itself, it just really like levitated her. She was soaring. And then the Full Moon era. Full Moon was released in 2002. So Brandy, like I said, she was, like I said, in the creative process of creating another blockbuster, following up that Never Say Never album. And I know at the time she was working with Rodney Jerkins. And Rodney Jerkins and her, I mean, I love when producers and artists, they have chemistry. They're able to understand each other. They're able to understand, like, okay, this is what the artist want. I'm a producer, so I know, let me see what I can do. Oh, I can really present this to this artist. Okay, we can do this. Like, we can be able to create a body of work. We can sit down and create a record that it'll come to life. And Brandy's albums, it's like Brandy's albums, when you listen to it, they're so relatable. Like every album it's like relatable. It's like, it's not like she made this stuff up. No, she actually went through some things. But let me get back to the Full Moon era. The Full Moon era, and I remember that era. I was like a little youngin', so I remember Full Moon playing, like the song Full Moon. Oh my God, I love Full Moon. Full Moon is like, it's just so freaking like, it just gives you like that R&B. It's like a party record, like you can just be, partying, jamming with your friends and stuff. So it's like give you like that, that futuristic, and then how Brandy be singing her vocals, and it's like Brandy's vocals are like, she has like that raspy tone, but at the same time it's sweet. But it's like the way how she sings, she makes the record come to life. So it's like Brandy is like, oh my God, like seriously, that Full Moon record is like one of like Brandy's, I mean, it's another hit from Brandy's catalog, because that record itself, it's so like edgy. It's like you still play that record now, it's like, yo, it still sounds great. It sounds really great. And it's like you can play that record and you be like, oh man, like wow. So the video to it, I like how, she was like, this guy that, she likes the guy. Like she really likes the guy. So she's like, oh, I'm not even gonna front, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I saw you at the club, or I saw you at somebody's house, or I saw you at the mall, whatever. Like, whatever. She was like, yo, I like you, I'm digging you. And she's like, I got a crush on you. So it's like, okay, Brandy, we saw Brandy, she was just growing up. She was like, oh, I like this guy, he's cute, he's fly, and it's like you saw Brandy like growing into a woman. Like she was like at the time, what, in her early 20s, I think. Yeah, early 20s. So the record is like, okay, the lyrics, I mean, and it's just so it's like intoxicating. The way how she sings, she's like, I ain't even gonna front, I ain't even gonna lie. Since we in the club, I been giving you the eye. We can dance if you want, get it crackin' if you like. Must be a full moon. I was like, wait a minute, Brandy, you just like did that. Like she really like, I was like, Brandy, I was trying to sing like her too, cause I mean some people would catch me like trying to sing. They're like, girl, you need to stop, cause you sound terrible. But You be like, sometimes you be thinking you can sing, but you really can't sing, but you like whatever. But yeah, it's like Brandy is like, she's amazing. Like she's like so dope. And the thing about Brandy, which is unfortunate, I think that, like I said, she was going through personal things in her life, and I know she had her daughter during the full moon eras. That was, like I said, the full moon era didn't really get as much attention as it should have. I mean, I know she was going through her personal life and stuff, but that album itself is it's a great body of work. I really think personally, Full Moon and Never Say Never, and I would say Aphrodisiac. I think those 3 albums, I think they're her best body of work. Cause it's really, cause see, to me as a Brandy fan, I love her music, but it's like it's difficult at times to really know, like, for me to pick which albums are her best cohesive body of work. But as I look back and I listen to her songs and I replay them from start to finish, I'm like, okay, like, cause I'm going by like the content, the meaning, the production. Now the production itself, I mean, we listen to a Brandy record, it's just out of this world. I mean, it's always like futuristic, like nostalgia. It gives you you got mid-tempo records, you have high-tempo records, you have slow ballads, and I love all of those things when it comes to Brandy's, like I said, artistry, because she can do it all. She's versatile. She's not one box. She's never been a one box artist to begin with. Which that's why when people talk about Brandy, they say, no, she's one of my influences. I've, like, singers, like you had like singers, even the current singers of now this generation, they be like, Brandy, that's my influence. Like who is your influence? Like who's the one that got you interested in singing? Like, or who did you like grew up listening to? And they be like, Brandy. Out of their mouth they say Brandy, Rihanna, Norwood, and they acknowledge her with respect because, as I said before, Brandy is the reason why a lot of these singers right now are singing. Well, some of them. Boy, that's another story. There'll be another video. But it's like, that's what I'm saying. That's why when I hear, like I said, some artists, okay, for example, I hear I know some singers that said like Brandy, like Jhené Aiko, Elle Varner, Jasmine Sullivan, Seven Streeter, like I said, Dawn Richard, the list goes on. I mean, a lot of people, like I said, they say this woman is the reason why they got them singing, or this woman's the reason why they love music, because Brandy put out quality music. Like, Brandy never put out a bad album. In my opinion, Brandy, to me, she never put out a crappy album. I mean, and the thing what I love about Brandy is that she takes her time doing albums. And I know, I know it would be maybe like every 4 years, because I know the last album she put out was 211. And I was so excited about this album, because I really thought this album was really going to be like, okay, going to like get her to really get more, will capitalize her more and continue for her to have success. So I'll talk about 211 right now. 211, the last album Brandy released was released back in 2012. So she had put out the single Put It Down, and she put out Wildest Dreams. Now when she put out Put It Down, at first I liked the record, but I didn't love it. Like, when you you know, like, you as a consumer, like your favorite artist, like, you always, of course you want to like their songs. But with Put It Down, it was like I had to get used to it, because like I said, it was different. Like I said, it was very different. Like, she really, like I said, she took her time trying to create something that was different. I mean, and at the same time, create something that was like currently out at the time. But when she put It Down, it was like, okay, I like the direction, I like what she's doing with it, so let's see how well it does. And like I said, it did pretty well for the most part. I mean, it did get her attention, and then she did follow up with Wildest Dreams, which was unfortunately the last single off the album. I really think that 211 should have gotten a lot of promotion. I really think 211 should have been like Brandy's like actual comeback album. I don't even like saying comeback like that. I don't like saying low. I'm like, listen, I'm here, people. Like, I'm here, I'm back. Like, I'm here, I never left. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, they say comeback. Like, I understand, like, you know, you just, like I said, you just, like, you coming back and, like, you have to, like, you know, prove yourself to, like, you know, keep up with what's going on. But I think Brandy, to me, I think, like I said, she doesn't have to prove anything else to anybody. I mean, like I said, she's a legend in her own right. She's an icon. So it's like, I think I don't like when like people put like so much pressure on like the legends and icons, like that actually pay the way for artists now, because they always be putting pressure on them. They be like, well, that was a long time ago when y'all was out during that time, but now it's a new generation, and now you got carried to the new generation. Now I understand that to a certain degree, but it's like, why should they compete with new artists? Like, let them do them and let the new artists do them. Why should they have to like worry about, oh, like these kids won't remember me or they don't like me? No, they already, first of all, they already have fans that rock with them. Second of all, I mean, why is it that y'all so focused on like, well, okay, for example, okay, I saw this interview on the Breakfast Club about Anne Marie, which I'll do another video of her later on. But it was like, you know, the interview, they was like, yeah, but you know, your last album you put out was in 2009. And it's like, that's the issue. It's like, yeah, I understand it's been a minute, but listen, they have people, listen, they have lives, they have their own personal lives, and it's like I said, they have the right to take a break because they have the right to. I mean, just because y'all not interested in them now, what does it, so what? You know, you better be appreciating them. You better be, like I said, grateful that they're still caring about putting out music, because since y'all want to talk about, well, you know, people and putting out music and it's boring, but then, like I said, you know, when there's talent in front of you, y'all act like y'all want to act phony and stuff. Ain't nobody has time for that, so bye. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Brandy, it's like that's the thing. And I know some people have been saying the same thing about her, like, oh, she's not interesting. She was successful when she was in the 90s and early 2000s. I'm like, yeah, she was, and I mean, like I said at the time, but she still is successful. It's like, success is success. I mean, people can define success however they want to define, but it's like, Brandy pretty much is still successful, and she still is relevant. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, she's still relevant. Because Brandy, I know, like, Brandy, you know, she's still, you know, getting herself out there. Like I said, she's doing the Broadway. And also, I'm going to take y'all back down memory lane if y'all don't remember. Act like y'all don't want to remember. You know, during the time when Brandy was doing her debut album and doing her Never Say Never album and doing like the Full Moon era, she had a successful sitcom show, Moesha. Okay, everybody know Moesha. You need to talk to your mama, you need to talk to your father, you need to talk to your grandma, you need to talk to your cousin, whoever. If you're not for sure, you don't know what Moesha is, you need to Google it. You need to go on YouTube, because I still watch Moesha on YouTube, and I still watch Moesha on a channel, I forgot what it was, but what it is. But Moesha's still playing to this day, for real. Like, there's some channels, like, they still play reruns of Moesha. So, yeah, like I said, Brandy, like I said, during the time of her debut, her Never Say Never and Full Moon, she was doing Moesha. She was also doing movies, too. She also did a movie with Diana Ross, and she also did a movie of Cinderella, which I have my own physical hardcore copy of it on tape. Yes, I do. And I watched that movie like 1,000 times back to back, okay? And I love that movie. I love, like, the story plot. Of course, it was the same story plot, of course, as the Cinderella, you know, that we all know. But Brandy, she just put her own twist and spin, and I love watching Brandy play Cinderella. I mean, it was just so cool to see, like, a successful black woman doing the thing. She was on the road. She was soaring. And especially for her, and when she was little, young black girls and girls in general, like, was looking up to her. They loved her so much because she was young, she was ambitious, she knew what she wanted to do. She just was on a roll. I mean, Brandy was like everywhere. And also, Brandy had her own doll. Yes, her own doll, like her own black Barbie doll, like Lil' Kim, the original black Barbie. Like, you already know Lil' Kim. You guys do know Lil' Kim. If you guys don't know who Lil' Kim is, then you guys will have to wait for the future for me to do a video on Lil' Kim. But yeah, it's like Brandy just capitalize off of everything. Like, and this is what bothers me. It's like nowadays, it's like I said, people want to call, like I said, flops and all this, your artist is a flop, your face. It's like, shut up. Because you sound childish as like, you sound childish, okay? You sound childish as hell because, first of all, you're immature, you're ignorant. And it's like, listen, you don't have to like the artist, but why are you going out your way to tear them down? But anyway, yeah. So Brandy, it's like Brandy just, like I said, and I noticed too, like, as a fan over the years, I know she's been more like quiet, and I know over the years she's been trying to like slowly get back in the spotlight. And this is the thing, what really pisses me off is that, like I said, I'm not gonna bring up what happened in her past because it's just not worth it. But she was going through things. Like, Brandy, this woman was going through things. She was going through personal issues, and like I said, I saw her at her lowest. Like, and I really, to be honest, I was so sad, and it was like disheartening. It was like sad to see her going through things, and people were just being mean to her, and the news press and the papers and the articles and like the media itself, they were just tearing her down, ripping her to shreds. They was calling her all kinds of names, and they was just trying to tear this woman down. Like, people, they was trying to tear her down, like bashing on her. She's this and that. And also her brother, which we already know, I'm not going to say anything else about him, but you know what was going on. But that's the thing. It's like Brandy, like I said, I saw Brandy, she was at her lowest point. Like, she was going through depression, and like I said, I can relate to that because I know I've been in a dark period. I've been in a dark hole too. Like, days where I didn't feel like doing anything. There was days I felt like shit, but that's the thing. But Brandy, like I said, she picked herself up, she got herself together, and she came back swinging. So it's like, to see someone like her, it's a definition of never giving up. Always follow your dreams. You gotta go after it. You don't let nobody tell you, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, I don't see you doing this. I don't see you being successful. It's like, well, who are you? Who are you to tell me that I, like, what I choose to do, like, is not gonna work for me? I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, you're gonna have some, like I said, you're gonna have haters. Like, you're gonna have people that don't wish you success. Yeah, I don't care who it is. It could be someone in your family. It could be your friends, your so-called, actually, I would say your friends. Well, they're not your friends, they're haters. They're your so-called friends, and they're your haters. But actually, they're not your friends, because if you got a friend that's a hater, that's not your friend. But it's like, yeah, so Brandy, like I said, she is still successful, and she is still relevant. And, okay, like with the 211 album that she released back in 2012, that album should have got more support. And I know she went on tour, and I know she was promoting the album, but we only got like 2 singles from it. And I was very disappointed and very angry because I have a physical copy of it. So it's like, I know like her fans, and at the time the fans, they want, I know the single off the 211 album, do you know what you have here? Yeah, that song. That song is just out of this world. I mean, like I said, that song is like, it's just like so damn freaking amazing. It's like the way how Brandy sings it, the way how it's presented, and then when it goes down, dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Like, it's like a gloomy, dark, gritty. It just gives you that sci-fi, like, kind of like, I mean, it just gives you like that sci-fi, like aura. It's just so freaking intoxicating. And every time I listen to that, it's like, oh my god, it just takes you to another dimension. It's like you're not from here, you're from somewhere else. It's like it takes you somewhere else. So Brandy's music, it always takes you somewhere else. It always takes you like from, it can take you to Mars, to Venus, and to Pluto, and to Saturn, and to, you know, Jupiter, you know, and Uranus, and everywhere else. I mean, take you back to Earth, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, Brandy, I mean, I'm just saying, she's a genius. I mean, and I like how that Brandy explained that, you know, when she writes her music and when she sings her music, she always wants to come from a place where she's like, she feels secure. It's like, and when she opens up, you get to feel it. You get to feel her. It's like an open book. It's like a open diary. You get to see the diary of Brandy. You get to see her ups, her downs. You get to see her angry. You get to see her happy. You get to see her sad. You get to see her having sassiness. You get to see her having confidence. You get to see her, you know, all of those characteristics, all of those elements is what makes Brandy who she is. And I like that Brandy, and it puts a smile on my face when I see Brandy talks about she's getting more confident. You know, she's comfortable in her own skin. And she said that, I think she did, like, when she was recording Begging and Pleading, she was like, you know what, I realized that I am the shit. She said it. This woman said it out of her mouth. She said it. She said, I am the shit. And yes, Brandy, you are the shit. Like, there's no one else like you. I mean, honey, you really saved me. Like, your music saved me. Like, it saves me all the time, because it's like, girl, you've been doing it for like what? Over 15 years? Like, over 15 years. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, some ignorant people, like, they act like they can tear down the artists that paved the way and stuff, but it's about longevity. It's not about, oh, you know, you're there now and then that's it. No, you gotta have longevity. And Brandy's one of those artists that she's been in the game for a long time. And I look forward to seeing, like I said, a new adventure. I look forward to seeing a new chapter from her, because I already know Brandy, most likely she's gonna put out another album. I already know. I mean, I already know she's gonna put out another album. She will put out another album, okay? So it's like, Brandy, she will put out another album, and it's like, seriously, I'm ready. I really, really, really want to see her on tour. I never got a chance to see Brandy on tour. She come through here, I really, like I said, I will save up and I will see her. And I really want to meet her too. She's just such a sweet person. Like, she's a kind, gentle person. Like, I see how she interacts with her fans. Like, she is so nice and so down to earth. And the way people be talking about her, like, oh, Brandy, she's this and that, and you know she did this, and we already know what happened, that, you know, but I'm not gonna mention it because I don't like doing that. It's like, why? I mean, I just think, like I said, I mean, can't control what happened in the past, but you can always move forward. So here you go, folks. I'm just saying. But, you know, I've seen Brandy, like, seriously blossoming into a beautiful human being. Like, she's just so genuine. She's so kind-hearted. It's like, and all the stuff this woman has accomplished. I mean, she has a Grammy for The Boy's Mind with Monica. She earned a Grammy. She got that. But I saw a video. Shout out to the main corner. I hope I'm saying your name right. Your YouTube channel. Shout out for you for doing that video of Never Say Never album, because I have the album as well. And that album is her best body of work. Yes, I do agree with you. It is her best body of work. It's like one of those Brandy albums that people should, like I said, go back. If they're not for sure, then go back and listen to the album from start to finish. So, shout out to you, and yes, I see you, cool. But yeah, it's like, yeah, and it's almost like, oh, and also another YouTube guy named Forever Brandy TV. I'm gonna give a shout out to you too, because you already know Brandy is the shit, you know, because I see you talk about Brandy 24/7. I see you, like, you know, you talk about her all the time. So I'm gonna give you a shout out. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. And so yeah, it's like, you know, it's like, and that's the thing, and it's like Brandy right now. You know, like I said, She's doing more things for herself. She's expanding her career, you know. She's doing her Broadway in Chicago. I mean, I would like to see her in Chicago too. I would like to see her if she stopped by. If I do, maybe, I don't know. But I mean, it would be nice to see her. But I really, really want to see her like when she goes on tour. I really want to see her like when she comes through on tour. I hope. And I know I've went and seen my favorite artists, a couple of them, but I really want to see her on tour. That's my goal, is to see Brandy on tour. I also want to meet her too. So yeah, it's like, you know, Brandy, like, I mean, there's just, like I said, there's no one else like her. And, you know, we've seen artists, like I said, as I said before, like people, you know, they want to shade artists and they want to call artists flash. Let me tell you this. And it's just interesting to see like ignorance, because it's almost like, if you don't like an artist, then why are you bothering to even listen to them? Or why do you bother to worry about what they do? Or why do you bother to care about, I don't know. But it's just, like I said, it's just this obsession. But like I said, you have some miserable people out in the world. They don't want to see people shine. They don't want to see people be successful. So they go out their way to tear them down. So sucks to be you. And you know who you are, for those who you know who you are. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about Brain. Like, I just tried to sum up everything I could about Brain, but it's like, the thing is with Brandy, it's like we need to appreciate her while she's here, because she's still able to give that magic. She's still able to give that creative freedom. And like I said, you know, what I talked about, you know, her albums, is like each album is like, it's different. You know, so it's like, Brandy, you know, girl, you're doing it. You're doing the damn thing. I'm proud of you. I'm so inspired by you, because, like I said, you taught me how to be myself and not be afraid to be who I am and stay true to who I am. And don't be afraid. Don't let others, you know, tell me that, you know, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because you are a prime example of what it means to be a survivor. And you are a survivor. And you are a teacher. And I be checking out Brandy. Like, I be checking out Brandy like on her Twitter. I check her out on her Instagram. I see how she helps other people. She does charity work. I see her helping like young boys and girls, and she goes to like I know she goes to like academy music schools or schools of arts, and she talks to the youth. And that's so good for her to bring back. You know, it's so good for her to, like, you know, like I said, do that humanitarian stuff, because it's like, Brandy, like I said, she's a prime example, because she was a teenager once before. You know, she went through things, and she, like I said, she thrived. I mean, she overcame her obstacles, and she's thriving. I mean, so she is the example of never giving up. Stay close and stay true to who you are. And don't let nobody tell you that, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. If you tell that person, like, listen, I am who I am, you gotta take it or leave it, and I'm doing it what I'm supposed to do. So keep it moving. And yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, Brandy, girl, I'm just so excited for you. Like, really, I hope, I'm serious. Whatever you have planned, I'm ready. Like, I am ready. I'm ready for you to just continue to thrive and soar. And you're doing a great job. And I love how you talked about how you and your daughter, you guys have that bond, and how she looks up to you, and how, like, and I know, like, even Brandy's daughter has said, she said, you know, I didn't really understand and realize, like, that people, like, I didn't think, like, my mom was, like, that, like, big, and it affected her, too, because her daughter talked about, like, how, like, you know, is like, you know, at times it's difficult for her to adjust, you know, because, you know, her mom, like I said, like, her mom is known for her music, but she still loved her mom regardless. And I love how Brandy says, like, she wants her daughter to stay grounded and keep her focused. And I like that about Brandy. You know, she's very, like, she's just so freaking down to earth. Like, I know I can sit down and have a conversation with Brandy. We can talk about anything. Like, she's the type of person, like, if we go out, we're going to have a cup of coffee, we're going to have lunch, we will talk about everything. Like, we'll talk about like what we've been through, and I would love to talk to her and her daughter, and we'll have a conversation. I like seeing like people have a like I said, relationship with their children. It just makes me so happy because, like I said, you got some kids, they don't have a relationship with their children, their parents. Their parents, they don't do anything with them. They don't communicate with them. They don't talk to them. They don't ask them how their day was at school or how they try to. So it just really like warms my heart and melts my heart, because it's like, it's good to see that. And it's good to see that Brandy, you know, she's a woman. She's taking care of herself. She's handling her business, and she's telling her daughter words of wisdom, and she's so insightful. Like, Brandy, like I said, I think Brandy should write a book. I think Brandy should. This is my suggestion. I think Brandy should write a book, and I wouldn't have no doubt in my mind that she may be writing something in the works. Now, I'm not saying that she is, because I don't know. I'm just saying, you never know with Brandy, you know. But I think Brandy, like I said, she's a strong woman. You know, she holds her own. You know, she is, like I said, one of the best to ever do it. And I keep seeing a lot of love from people that said, listen, Brandy, she is the shit, you know, like I said. And I'm going to talk about, like, okay, why Brandy, like, why did now, this is what I've noticed, like, some people, they don't understand, like, why people call Brandy, why do they call her the vocal Bible? And some people, I've looked at other people's videos, and they're like, well, I don't think she's like the vocal Bible. I think people are exaggerating that. But personally, I don't think it's an exaggeration. I think it's just an appreciation. I think it's like, it's kind of like, okay, Mariah Carey, you know, they tell her, like, they call her the Songbird Supreme. Or Michael Jackson, they call him, like, what, the King of Pop. Janet Jackson, the Queen of Pop. They call Whitney Houston the Voice. I think Brandy, she's in that league, she's in that catalog, but she has her own, like I said, she's just her own person. And I think the vocal Bible with people, and I know I interpret it, I didn't really look at this, oh, she's the vocal Bible, and you know, I just think that the way how they say that she's the vocal Bible, because there's nobody singing like her. There's nobody that sings like her. There's nobody that has how the way she sings her records, how the way she sings her face off, how the way she be singing, not singing, she be singing, and she gives you goosebumps when she be singing, okay? She be singing, like, she gives you goosebumps. It's like, she'll switch up her vocals. She don't even sing the same way. She don't sing the same way all the time, and that's what I love about her. She knows how to switch up. She knows how to switch up her flow when she sings. Different patterns. So she's able to give you something different. She may sing a high note, and then she'll go in the middle, and then she go low, and she bring it back up. And it's like her harmonies, it's like, it's so intoxicating, draws you in. It just captures your attention. It's like when you listen to her with your headphones and you chill and relax, you be listening to it, and then it's almost like you want to sing along with her too. And it's like, I always do that. It's like when a Brandy song come on, like I wanna be down. Like, I be trying to sing. I know I can't sing for shit. I'm sorry, I can't sing, but I just try, you know. So it's like, that's why I think people call her the vocal Bible, because they say, oh, you know, Brandy, you know, she be like, she just takes you in. It's like she just be giving like raw vocals. And I understand that, because every time I listen to I listen to the song, I listen to like Full Moon, for example, I be like, yo, Brandy, how she takes that song, she be like, give you this and that and third. And then I know another song off that song she did, What About Us? Like, the song, like, she gives you like rawness. Like, the way she sings is like, she's not afraid to sing. She's gonna sing. Like, she's going to sing. Like, when she be singing, she be singing. And also, I love her visuals to her music videos. It's like, she always had like that. She always like draw you in with the story plot. Like, okay, like the I Wanna Be Down, like I said, about a boy that she liked. She's like, I wanna be down, and you know, I wanna kick it with you, and I'm there for you if you're going through anything, and you know, and if you're crying, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna love you regardless. You know, you're unique, you're special, you're beautiful. And also the Best Friend song, which is one of my favorite songs, Best Friend, from her debut album. Cause I'm your sister, and all don't know what I ever do without you, from the beginning to the end. You always been right beside me, so I call you my best friend. I'm telling you, like, and it's almost like she talks about real life stuff. And this is the thing. This is why people love Brandy, because she's not a cookie cutter artist. She's never been a cookie cutter artist. She's never been like a manufactured artist. No, she's always been a real artist from day one. Okay, since day one. And it's like I said, it's funny to me at times how people want to discredit her, how they want to talk to her, how they want to say like, well, you know, she's not popular no more. Okay, who cares? Listen. It's not about being popular all the time. And to be honest with you, it ain't really being popular. It's about you still doing what you're supposed to do. Like, you're still doing what you're supposed to do as a person. You're still doing what you're supposed to do, and if you have a talent, you showcase it, and you don't be ashamed of it, because it's your talent, it's your art, it's your work. I mean, hell, there's plenty of other artists that I'm inspired, so am I going to hold myself back? No, I am not, and I will not, okay? So, yeah. So, anyway, yeah, it's like, I'm just, like I said, I'm just so, like, excited to see what she's going to do next. Yeah. So, I guess that sums up for what I'm going to say. I guess that I did sum up everything that I was supposed to say on Brandy. But yeah, she's one of my favorite artists. And like I said, I'm happy that Brandy, she's still making music. She still has that ambition. She still has that drive. And like I said, I will always be there for her. So yeah, like I said, what are your thoughts on Brandy? What are your thoughts on her? Do you like her music? What are your favorite records from Brandy? And yeah, subscribe to my channel. I will talk to you guys later on my next video, so look out for it. My bad. Look out for it. Alright, I love you guys. Alright, peace.